We started this ceremony with thoughts from one of your own, one that you chose. And now we conclude this ceremony with the voice of your choice. Please help me welcome Mohammed Tifak.
Thank you. Good evening, Massey. Today is Wednesday, June 26th, and here is your valedictorian address. Welcome, graduates, beloved parents and guardians, teachers, administration and staff, family and relatives, as well as distinguished guests joining us in the grand celebration of this momentous achievement. Oh, and Mr. Loback's here too. Special shout-outs go out to Durag and the Jay Glizzy crew, Ron Peters' calf and back muscles, Penguins, not penguins, Hagoromo Chalk, Tavalier's Red Dots, Geomatics, Jerry's Arcade Machine, and all board men who get paid. Graduates, I want you to take the time and soak it all in. Tonight is your night. You are now the class of 2019. The tumultuous and turbulent, the rocky and restless 4 years of grueling hard work, and the lovely addition of the sweaty, near 3-hour ceremony have finally brought you to the end game. Hop on the Wayback Machine and reflect on the moment you entered the building on your first day of high school. Perhaps you were nervous of what awaited, or emboldened by the excitement of the unknown. One thing's for certain, we were all unsure of what the future might hold. Now, 4 years later, in this moment, you sit in your gown, destined to move on to the next chapter of your life, and yet again, unsure of what the future might hold. The more things change, the more they seem to stay the same. Make no mistake though, these past few years have been a blur and a far cry from the sameness we experienced coming out of elementary school. Excitedly walking through what seemed like grand halls at the time, getting lost on your way to and from class, not being able to open your locker, hearing the whispers of a third floor, avoiding Mr. Reed and Miss Desjardins, faking an injury to ride the elevator. Grade 9 was the transformative beginning of our new journey. Flash forward to our final year. The process has become somewhat monotonous as we swing through the motions, heading to the end. The grand halls have become claustrophobia-inducing chambers where the clogging up of hallways always causes an aneurysm. It makes you think that we should invest in some sort of traffic light system. Genius is never appreciated. Now forget about your own locker where sharing one has become the norm. The third floor has become urinal number 5. And who would want to avoid Mr. Pedo? He makes for great company. Riding the elevator has become a question of convenience, not permission. All this as we get ready to make peace and bid farewell to Massey. Yet it's easy to glaze over on all the memories and moments we shared in that building, as we tend to focus on the here and now. If we all take a look at our humble beginnings, you'll see how far we've come. We used to be the naive 9th graders trying to understand how we fit in the high school hierarchy. We'd come to realize that our experience was unique, and there were so many different things that made Massey Massey. Some of us found our voices in debate club, passion in Massey hearts, and duty in Massey Green. We yearned for the team bond, and that could be found in sports or robotics, depending on your preference. We looked up to the grade 12s at the time, wanting to be them and follow their lead. But before we got there, we had to grow and enjoy the moment. Whether it's being able to see the smile of kids' faces at the children's Christmas party, pretending sleep was for the weak during A&S or Massey Hacks, your eyes and taste buds being blown away during the multicultural show or the dinner, doing your part during the Terry Fox walk or the rebounds from Ronald McDonald House. It all contributed to your Massey experience and should make you proud to be a Mustang. In no time at all, we became the grade 12s we looked up to, and the expectations increased along with the workload. Senioritis, university, marks, no tweaking zones, and our final goodbyes were all in the limelight. With all this in stow, our high school experience whizzed past us in a flash. As we saw changes in our lives, so did Massey. New teachers, new staff, and new clubs. From Deca for Doctors, HOSA, led by its karaoke mastermind, to the powerlifting club, crushing any records in their way, lifting themselves to victory. If that joke didn't work, I was going to say that pun didn't work out. Anyway, Def, Other Memories, Print, Codereach. At its core, giving back and setting kids up with the skills to mold their own futures. A remarkable initiative that'll last the ages. And let's not forget the sprawling new addition to our athletic department. Joining their ranks requires the highest level of skill. I'm talking about Massey Fish. But as we honor these newcomers, lest we forget the courageous fallen, the anguished fallen, Anime Club. Arigatou gozaimashita for all of your services. With respect to the frame of reference outside of Massey in our own lives, the world around us has seen some rapid and significant changes as well. From water discovered on the surface of Mars, PewDiePie versus T-Series, the toxicity of social media, the first image of a black hole, the Flint water crisis, to the irreversible damage of the ecosystems. Each cornerstone made us more aware of the world we lived in and how mortal we were. We even had Ed's beef tearing the streets of School Talk, but we knew we could rebuild. We knew School Talk would always come back, right? We also bore witness to the biggest controversial election in recent years. You know what I'm talking about, the presidential election in Chad. In sports news, Kawhi Leonard avoided Portland, figuring out he could become a Blazer in Canada instead, and led the LeBronto Raptors back to their original name and first championship. As for other sports, not relevant, as I install 2/3 of the world waiting for soccer, baseball, and cricket updates. Sorry about that. Here's a Kawhi joke to ease the pain. What do Kawhi Leonard and a mushroom have in common? What? They're both fun guys! Insert Darshan laugh. But alas, you've heard me ramble on about key events in the world as well as the shards of the past here at Massey. But what does that have to do with graduation? You see, all these milestones have been etched into history. And now it becomes his story, her story, your story, as this world with its constantly changing narrative has led you to this stage. Massey's unique experience was phenomenal because you were there to enjoy it and share it with others. Every single one of you make the Massey experience. All of your stories coming together as you get ready to embrace the next chapter of your life. Are you ready to leave that behind? Now, there are about 2,000 of you in this room. I stumbled upon the bright idea of getting donuts from Timmy's for everyone here since there was no dinner service. It's only 167 dozen. When I told my parents to plan alongside the cost, my dad said something I can't repeat for all young listeners with virgin ears. And my mom pulled out the shahada. So instead, I'm going to give you something even better, and it's priceless. Motivation. Yeah, we're at that part of the speech. We're almost done. Now, I'm not fit to give any inspirational words until the wise words of Logan Silvio Leonarduzzi are spoken first. Believe, and you can achieve. You set your mind on anything, and it becomes a destination. However, do not set your mind as in to dwell on something for too long. Be like a leaf, easily blown by the breeze of change, but be also like a tree, firm and unwavering, with planted roots. Poetry 100. Okay. As for your dreams, everyone talks about dreams and following them, but no one talks about stupid dreams. I mean, where would everybody be if they followed their first dreams in life? I'd be Batman or the next Hokage. So, how do you know when to follow your dreams and when not to? The answer is, you don't. Life is a whirlwind of unpredictability, and sometimes accepting that things are out of the scope of your control will put things in perspective. But that doesn't mean give up or pity yourself. That's the worst possible thing you could do. Trials and tribulations are sure to arise. Failure is sure to inbound, and you need to accept that. I've tasted the cold sting of failure numerous times. We all have. Be it the isolation and withdrawal you feel when you don't fit in, dealing with family issues and carrying emotional baggage, forcing yourself out of bed on a day where you just want to sink into the mattress, doing poor academically and losing future prospects, buckling under the weight of responsibilities and the pressure, struggling to deal with new emotions like depression or anxiety. We've all had some failure that's left a mark. However, I've always believed that things happen for a reason, and so does my friend Steve. He says, you can't connect the dots looking forward, only backwards. So looking back, out of the 14,605 possibilities, this is the one that led you to graduation. Every triumph and misstep has made you stronger. Looking forward, let your flaws be a source of strength, not a weakness, as you're the only one who can define yourselves. Every single day, circumstances be damned. Promise yourself that you'll give 110%. You're all Mustangs, meant to run free and conquer challenges, not to be restrained by the shackles of fate. And by doing so, I know that as I look out into the sea of potential writers, doctors, musicians, athletes, business leaders, lawyers, I see the future. I see Massey graduates. For the past 4 years, you've been a black hole, absorbing knowledge from studying, gaining inspiration from your teachers, getting advice from your parents, but never allowing your light to escape. Well, today, let your light shine. Let it shine bright amongst the stars. And I know for a fact that every single one of you will prosper. Never forget the support that was given you, the roots from which you grew. To the administration and staff, thank you. While we've butted heads over flexing in semestered classrooms, they've done nothing short but a brilliant job running Massey. From our janitors keeping everything tidy, to our secretaries and their tip-top organization, the special support staff busting their chops, the VPs maintaining order, and Miss Rankin for her service and vision. To our teachers, thank you. We may have disagreed with them over 1 root 2 being a Pythagorean triple, being told physics is beautiful before getting wrecked, or they may have just straight up packed their bags and left. Whatever the case, our teachers have become a second set of parents to us. They poured their heart and soul into teaching, keep that extracurricular train running, and have offered emotional support and wisdom, helping us bloom to the students we are today. I personally could not stand before you today had it not been for my teachers. To our beloved parents and guardians, thank you isn't enough. They have moved heaven and earth to take care of us, and even when we gave them hell, they still nurtured us. Mere words cannot begin to describe how much we care about you, and thank you for being here for us. Today and all the other days, through thick and thin, you've been by our sides and we love you to infinity and beyond. A huge round of applause for our staff, teachers, and parents. As we are nearing the end, I want to share a few words from someone who knows a thing or two about concluding. Everybody wants a happy ending, right? But it doesn't always roll that way. Maybe this time, I'm hoping if you look back on this moment, it's in celebration. I hope families, friends, and teachers are reunited. I hope we get it back and somewhat like a normal version of the student life has been restored, if there ever was such a thing. This graduation thing they're going to pull off right now, it's got me scratching my head about the meaning of all this. But then again, that's a student gag. Part of the journey is the end. What am I tripping for? Everything is going to work out exactly the way it's supposed to. I love you 3,000. Tony Stark. My fellow Mustangs, you've made it, and you should be proud. Keep in mind Massey's motto, Dum laboramus possumus. As long as we are working, we are progressing. As our paths diverge, our memories bond us together. It's been an absolute honor and pleasure to have got to know all of you these past few years, and I'm glad that I get to be part of the class of 2019. This isn't goodbye, just a hello to tomorrow. Perk up, the future is bright. And for the last time, that's all for today, Massey. Have a whimsical Wednesday and a spectacular summer.
And now it's time to recognize Motifac's mom.